Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm filming this very late, but I haven't posted in a while because school ended and I was taking a bit of a break. But I should go back to a similar schedule to back when I was in August, where I'll be posting daily or almost daily tropical and other weather updates. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So, you saw the title. We're going to be talking about a potential Gulf hurricane. Remember, take this video with a grain of salt as it's still far out. But without further ado, let's get into the sea surface temperatures, where we do see the Gulf loop there, 29 degrees Celsius in the Gulf of Mexico. And basically what that's going to do is any storms that go there is going to fuel them very well. And we do see 29 degrees Celsius off the Yucatan Peninsula, so any storms that go through there will be sufficiently fueled as well. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to make any storms that go through there potentially rapidly strengthen. That's what we're really seeing in the GFS model, which we'll get into now. Also, hopefully you guys can hear me well. And sorry for any background noise because I'm speaking kind of quietly. Anyway, so we are looking at the GFS model here. We're not going to be looking at the European or Canadian because this is only shown on the GFS for now. It's sort of shown in the European ensembles, but we'll get into that later. So we do see here on the 6th hour, we're not really seeing anything. We're just going to skip ahead a bit here. And then we get around to hour 2:28. We do see something starting to form in off the coast of Central America. And really, it's not really getting its act together until around hour 2:58. Then you do see that it looks like a tropical storm, kind of like a disorganized weak tropical storm. And you see it starts to rapidly strengthen, and then it's passing by the Yucatan by hour 2:82 on June 19th as a probably potential low-end Category 1 hurricane, and it affects the Yucatan. It crosses over, and then it strengthens over the Gulf to 980 millibars and hits Texas. So basically what we're seeing here is a Category 1 situation. If we go to the 850 MB, which is what my best source for one guess, it's not completely accurate, but it's the best we can do for now. We do see a hurricane, high-end tropical storm, as well gusts off the coast, maybe into a little bit of western Cuba and all across the Yucatan, and that of course goes into Texas as well as it makes landfall. And what we really want to be looking at here is the 10 M winds, which is the sustained winds. And what we really do see here is these 10 M sustained tropical storm force winds all the way to the tip of Cuba, so relatively large wind field, mainly in the east side. Lopsided to the east side, it seems, is what this wind field is. And of course, it'd be landfall in Texas, and we could even see tropical storm force winds all the way into Louisiana, about central Louisiana. Of course, that would only be for the coast. Another thing we're going to be looking at is significant wave height, So basically, we could be seeing up to 35-foot waves according to this model run, which would basically mean a large marine threat, which of course would not be supported for any marining conditions, obviously, even if this was much weaker. So we're really going to have to watch out for those wave heights so we can have a better understanding of how this could affect any boating or stuff as well. But then again, take this with a grain of salt as it is still far out. Now we're just going to go to we're going to go to total accumulated precipitation. As you saw there was a lot of heavy rain with the system. So we do see to the coast of Cuba, we could see up to 2 inches, the Yucatan up to 6 inches, and in Texas up to 5 inches, and into western Louisiana, we could see up to 4 inches. So nothing too crazy, but definitely still a rain threat. Now, if we go to the 18D, just a little bit of an older run, we do see that it goes more west, 971 millibars. We're going to heavy rain. We're going to look at the 10 M winds there. We're seeing still tropical storm force winds. Then again, though, the GFS has a tendency to undermine the sustained winds along with its millibars, basically meaning that the winds it's showing is probably lower than the reality of, say, a 971 millibar system. We see hurricane force gusts. We see waves, let's get this here, not as high, but still up to 30 feet potentially, and don't pay attention to that eastern Pacific system. We're not focusing on that in this video, maybe in a later video, though. and totally accumulated precipitation. For western Cuba, up to 7 inches, and maybe even 8 inches, and isolated amounts of 10 inches, and up to isolated amounts of maybe 20 inches in Louisiana, up to 12 inches of rain into Mississippi as well. So basically heavy rain for Louisiana and Mississippi that could lead to flooding. We have to watch out for that. Now we're going to look at the GEFS ensembles, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to see what they say about this. And by the way, this is a short video, guys, a shorter one, because of course it's late and I want to get to the point for you guys. So if you have any questions, please comment them down below. Also, take this with a grain of salt, because we don't have that much information on it, but if we go to the GEFS ensembles now, we do see that a lot of these 980, 999 millibar systems, tropical storm to maybe even weak category 1, are showed forming, and they are all over the place. We see systems from the Florida Peninsula to Louisiana to even Central America. And by Central America, I mean Mexico. We even see they show a 950 millibar system heading there, so that is probably not going to happen. They see a 960, even 950 millibar system hitting Louisiana, Mississippi. Likely not going to happen. Take this, and we have some ensembles going up the East Coast, but those are an outliers and not as much of a threat. I wouldn't worry about those. And if we go to EPS cyclones, we do see we're going to have to go to 12 here, because if we go to the 00Z, it's not loaded in 18. It only goes up to 90 hours. 18th, that is. But yeah, we do see some tropical storm potential formation in some of the ensembles off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula and north of it as well. Okay, now we're going to cut to the final part of the video, which I'm just going to be showing you a graphic I made here. The likely minimum effects if this is just like a strong low pressure system, maybe a very weak tropical storm. The low end of what model runs have been showing. Of course, as you saw in the ensembles, most of them are showing the system going more west, but older runs show it going more towards the Florida Peninsula and Panhandle, and it's going all over the place. So really, we have to put the whole Gulf Coast at a risk, the Yucatan and western Cuba. Of course, if this low were to form and hit one of these areas, it wouldn't affect all the areas, but this is based on all the potential affected areas. So say a low hit Houston, the effects wouldn't go all the way to the Florida Peninsula, for example, obviously. Now, obviously, the Yucatan and Cuba are the highest risk areas, because obviously the system is likely to go through there before it gets to the Gulf. But in recent runs, we've been seeing western Gulf, central Gulf areas, and that's why it goes, the ride goes more inland there, because in those runs where it goes into the western Gulf, the system is usually stronger than it going into the eastern Gulf. But we still have to watch the whole Gulf Coast, because it could go back east and stay east, it could go stay west, it could just go flip-flop. So yeah, these are likely minimum effects. So gusty winds, obviously, we saw in the 850 MB a large wind field for wind gusts. So even if this is just a low pressure, we could definitely see those gusty winds, choppy seas. You saw the high waves, even if it's just 10 to 15 feet waves. Definitely something to watch out for. Heavy rain obviously comes with any low pressure area, and that could also cause minor flooding. So these are just the minimum effects of what we have to watch out for. Again, take this with a grain of salt. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this short tropical update. Well, it's not as short as some of my other shorter videos, but it's definitely not as long. Anyway, guys, I'll go back to that daily or almost daily schedule like I had back in August and September, where I posted tropical updates almost every day. Anyway, or every day. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Goodbye.